A controversial PlayStation 5 leak, The Last of Us Part 2 is delayed indefinitely, and is exclusivity healthy? All that and more on Wumpa Time. Hey everyone, it's me, Shemp, and I am back with another episode of Wumpa Time with my co-host.
Canadian guy, hey, how's it going, everybody?
Oh, every time. So, we're just gonna jump right into it, because not a lot happened this week, but, you know, we're still gonna be reporting on everything that we can. First off, did you ever pay attention to QuakeCon, CG?
Not too much. I mean, I'm not crazy into, but I know of it, and...
Yeah, Doom shows up sometimes.
Yeah,
it's called DoomCon at this point. So... No surprise to anyone else, QuakeCon recently was canceled amidst all the COVID-19 cancellations. They released a tweet with a statement that's saying to all of our friends, in the QuakeCon community, blah 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 blah. It's a special time event, blah 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 blah. And the recent we've been discussing, it's been 25 years. This is the first time that they're gonna have to cancel the event outright. So no word on if they're going to be doing any digital things, because QuakeCon is where they announced some new Blizzard stuff. No, not Blizzard stuff. What am I talking about? Bethesda. Yeah, Bethesda.
The other
stuff.
B.
Yeah, I get my B's mixed up. But with Quake, that's where they showed off exclusive gameplay of Doom 2016 the first time, and we still never saw that trailer. That's still QuakeCon exclusive. So they're no stranger to releasing new stuff then, but they might just have to tweet it out. Hey guys, here's the new Quake game. Here's the new this. Here's the new that.
Elder Scrolls, please?
Elder Scrolls, maybe? I mean, it's kind of lame, but, we have to do what we have to do.
Just to let you know that for the PlayStation 5, we will be porting Skyrim once again to the... finally! No, can it just, stop? Can we stop with the Skyrim ports?
Yeah, the thing is, your console is not successful unless it has a port of Skyrim on it. That's why my Google Home has Skyrim on it.
I still can't believe that. But speaking of stopping, segue. The last Oasis. Have you heard of it? Probably not. So it is that we haven't heard of it either, but it is currently kind of going through some problems. So it is a game that's on Steam, and to get early access, you kind of had to pre-order the game. So you paid money for the game, and you got access to the alpha. Well, within less than 24 hours, the alpha was an absolute it just died. Everything died.
Yeah. It got so bad that they said that it was a deep-rooted server issue, and it made the game just unplayable for a good majority of people. Yeah. So they're taking the game offline, and you said that they're offering refunds for it?
Full
was it
refunds.
That bad of a problem?
Apparently it is, because they said that they have they don't know when it's going to get fixed. They said they're working around the clock to get it done, but what they're setting up is they're basically saying if you want a full refund, doesn't matter how many hours played, even if you played from when it went live and you were the one of lucky, 3 people that was able to play, and you played all the way until they took it off, you can get a refund, no questions asked.
See, that's pretty cool. Personally, that kind of seems like it's overkill, because how bad was the issue that you had to be like, we're sorry, here's your money back? Worst comes to worst, it's just hey guys, I can't play it right now. Oh, hey, cool, we'll take it down and fix it and put it back up. Okay, cool. That's what I expect that everyone else to do. This is the first time that they were like, we're so sorry, if you want a refund, here, take your money back.
Yeah, I understand having a rapport with the people, and that's very good. It's happy to see that people would want to develop a relationship like that already, but it's weird. It's kind of weird to literally go that far. Because what was the studio name? I'm trying to remember what the name was. It was I
think it was called
Donkey Crew?
Donkey Crew. I almost said Dump Monkey. Yeah, it's Donkey Crew.
Yeah, Donkey Crew. Yeah, I've never heard of this team before.
I'm curious. Let me see what else they've done real quick.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sort of... I've never heard of these people before.
Donkey Crew.
Donkey Crew,
Donkey.team. Let's see. They've only done Oasis.
So this is their first
and
game.
They're hiring. So yeah, it looks like this is their first game. Let me look at their LinkedIn, I guess. They have up to 50 employees. They're in Dalnal. I am not gonna pretend to know how to pronounce that.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is their first game.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go smoothly, but it's cool that they're being this cool about refunds and everything. Like, no other developer would do this.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, was the backlash that bad? Like,
I don't think so, because the thing is, if it was like bad, I would probably have heard of it.
Yeah,
like people complaining about it, but I just guess not. Like, they're self-publishing this game too, so this is all them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like but that requires a lot of funding, man. Like 50, even upholding 50 people. I mean, if you think, even if you were to make it like, okay, 50 people, even if you were to make it 3 leads, 2 directors, and then the rest just, lackeys. Let's say a lackey. I'm saying lackey as in, like, junior animator, texture or whatever, right? Putting the game together. They're getting paid $30,000 to $40,000 a year. The small people, the heads are getting paid 50 to 60, and then the heads getting paid 70 to 80 per year. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to be paying
especially with all the refunds, and I can't imagine all the business deals behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm on the Steam page right now, and it says the overall reviews are mixed, understandably, and there's 9,000 reviews, but a good chunk of them are positive, and people are saying, hey, it's a great game with a rough launch. People are saying, listen, it's great. I can't wait to go back into it. Hope they fix the problems. So they're being pretty generous. The only negative review I've seen so far is this one guy that says boring game, unplayable, do not bother.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So if I don't know what kind of game this is. Is this just like a shooter?
It's a survival. No, I think it's like a survival game.
It's a survival
MMO?
like medieval type. It's cool. Go check it out. Go support them. You might like the game. It's it's only $30 and it looks really good. It's on Unreal 4.
Yeah. Now we're gonna randomly segue into the next topic.
Google Stadia.
Google Stadia.
Remember that?
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. So if you didn't know, there's not just Google who is not really associated with gaming that wants to get into the streaming game, but Amazon too.
Yes, Amazon literally, like, I remember they announced it just to mess with Google, and people were like, okay, sure, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, so Project Tempo is what it's called right now. We don't really have too many details. They still want to release this year. They still want to launch the project this year. But the early version is going to be delayed by the coronavirus, obviously. And you know what? Just rewind just a little bit. The last Oasis probably is having struggles too with getting the programming fixed because of the lockdown, and they're doing it probably from home. So that's probably one part of the reasons why they're having a hard time fixing the server. But back to Project Tempo. So they're saying that they wanted to have like a beta version out or an alpha version out, but that's going to be delayed by the coronavirus. But they still want the full version out by the end of the year.
What do you think? Well, the thing is, Amazon already has their toe in the gaming market in more ways than one. One, the big one, they own Twitch, like that's the big one, and they also have their own. They have their own gaming company, like it's called Amazon Games. So they're making their own games, and them launching this is understandable because they've dealt with this type of stuff before with Twitch and stuff like that. And I guess the Amazon Fire Sticks also, you could stream or download games to it. So it makes sense. But I think if anyone can get it done right, I think Amazon, well, I don't know. Actually, let me retract that statement because Amazon wants to push to get it out this year. So they might have a worse launch than Stadia.
Well, here is where I'm kind of balancing with that. So you are right. The fact that Amazon owns Twitch, that's the number one. That's a huge deal because Twitch is the number one streaming site still by far. YouTube is getting pretty good. Mixer is nowhere close. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many people they bring over there. Mixer is still not even in the same ballpark.
I forget it's there. Yeah. I never remember that it's there.
Mixer is like you got the massive celebrities, and then the nobodies. Unfortunately, that's what it's set up like right now.
I'm looking at Mixer right now, and the most, like, it's showing me the top rated people streaming right now that are all verified, and they have like 40, 50,
Really?
see 70. Ooh, 190. That's cool.
Really? That's
nowhere near Twitch
and these are
numbers.
verified, like verified partners.
Yeah, they have like the little Mixer icon next to their name, so they're verified, and they have like all professional looking. Yeah, I see some people without the Mixer icon and some with. So that tells me, like, let me just look up Ninja real quick, and
yeah, I'm curious.
I'll tell you if it has the icon next to it.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is that, like, for example, when I stream CTR, I get upwards of 200 to 300 people watching on YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the fact, and I'm a small fry, right? If Mixer's top performance is 50 to 60, it's not even close.
Yeah, he has the
Mixer.
What? Hold on. What is this? Okay, sorry. This whole thing is confusing me. Yeah, it says Mixer Partner. That's what that is, and he has it. He's hosting someone, and they only have 700 people watching. So Ninja's hosting someone that only has 700 people.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how many views he gets per stream. I don't know how much of that is real. Yeah. I don't know if it's something to. I don't know if Mixer is just dead on arrival, because how much do they pay Ninja?
They never released it. They never said. But
wasn't there like an estimate?
There was. It was something in the ranges of, like, for 10 years, it was something like something stupid, like $10 million or $11 million or something like that.
Let's see. I have a news article. He was He's like a conservative approach, and he estimates that Ninja is on the contract that will give him between $6 million and $8 million a year for the first 3 years.
$6 to $8 million a year.
Yeah, let's see, but the figure could be way higher than that, according to YouTuber Keemstar. In the latest edition of Drama Alert. Yeah, all right. He says that the rumor around the street is that Ninja may have secured $100 million from this Mixer deal. Keem says this isn't confirmed, but it's unclear if it's $100 million per year or if the total duration of Ninja's contract is on that platform.
Time out. No. $100 million no. That's the bro. He's on for 10 years. He's on a 10-year contract, isn't it? Isn't he?
It didn't.
Even okay, let's say it's 3 years.
It just said 3 years. Yeah, it just said 3 years.
Okay, let's say 3 years. 300. That's to give you. That's over $250 million. Billion. Not million. Not $250,000. $250 million for one streamer. There is no way.
So, okay, so they said that, when was this deal? In, like, 2018, right?
It was around 2018, 2019, 2018, yeah, around there.
Okay, so the deal's already almost over. It'll be over next year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're gonna, I'm sure, like, that's the only person they remember on Mixer.
Yeah, and so...
Is this Twitch still on?
No, Twitch removed his verification status.
But does he still have a Twitch?
Yes.
Oh, he does have a Twitch. Okay, yeah.
So, but kind of rewinding back a little bit, Project Tempo, there was an idea that Stadia actually had that, if applied right, could be really fun. And one of the ideas was playing with people. And what they basically had was that if you were playing a basketball game and you want to do 3v3, you could have your viewers join in if they had Google Stadia, right? Now, here's the thing, is that, to my knowledge, Project Tempo would just tie into the Amazon Prime account, right?
Yeah.
So most people already have Amazon Prime. A lot of people do. I have Amazon Prime.
A lot of people do.
Right? And then when you get Amazon Prime, you don't just get that free delivery. You get the video, you get this video streaming service. You get this, you get that. And it's still in the same package, to my knowledge. I might be wrong about that, but to my knowledge, it's in the same package.
Yeah, if you get Prime, you do get free, you get Twitch Prime or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and Project Tempo, if they set it up where like I said, where you can do that, where it's like, hey, if you have Project Tempo, you can join someone, and you know what they need to do? They could just say, use any controller you want. DualShock.
Yeah.
They don't even need to design a controller. They don't. Who gives a crap?
That's what they did with the Amazon Fire Stick. You could just put any controller to it that had Bluetooth.
Yeah, exactly. So if they were just like, hey, you can use an Xbox, you can use a PlayStation, you can use a Switch Pro, it don't matter. You can hop into a game. And like I said, most people already have it. And there'll be people like, hey, I want to play with this streamer. Oh, I have Amazon Prime already. I can play with them.
Might as well hop in and see what's going on.
Exactly. And Amazon is going the smart way about this. Meanwhile, Google Stadia, the piñata of stupid news that we do to beat it to death every week, it just...
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything. Like, here's the thing. We haven't heard anything whatsoever.
The only thing that's been happening recently is that they've been giving 3-month free trials to people who have YouTube Premium, and people still aren't using it. Ooh. And now they're just now starting to roll out the free tier, like later next month, I think. So it's not even out yet still.
Oh man.
I think there's still no new games besides the 2 that they added because they were pressured to. I don't know what they're doing. There's no saving grace. People who defend Stadia, please comment. Tell me why. Please. Why are you defending it? It's okay. You can say it's bad. Listen, I'm a Sonic fan. I know when it's bad. It's okay. We'll get through this together.
Speaking of kind of coming through together, and I guess early, segue on fire. Not a great one. Final Fantasy VII released early, sort of, kind of. It's a Wild West right now. I think that's the best way to describe it.
It's a weird situation. So basically, I think I first heard about this from some people in Australia who were getting the deluxe edition, which was the one that was in the sleeve and it had the steel book and the art book and all that stuff. It was really cool. And then some people were getting the collector's edition, so they had the figure and the motorcycle and the big box and everything. And people were like, what's going on? Apparently some stores are just like, if they're getting the stock, they're just releasing it early. Now, again, when was the game supposed to come out?
No, it's supposed to come out on April 10th, which at this point in time is next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. So it's supposed to come out on the next Wumpa time. But people have already gotten it by the beginning of this week, on April 3rd. So it's weird. People are already putting out their reviews because they're getting the game early. People are posting spoilers on Twitter. And, like we said last time, how can you spoil this old game? It's the experience. There's some new stuff in here. People want to see what they add. Yeah. And like you said, you called your Walmart, right? Just to double check?
Yeah, and I called my Walmart.
And what did they say?
Well, I called my Walmart and I was just like, hey, people have been putting it on the shelves. Do you guys have it out on the shelves? And they basically told me, no, we would get charged if we do that. We're not going to do that. Sorry.
Yes, and that's completely true. I work at a game store, and if we did that, we would get fined out the butthole.
Exactly.
We are not allowed to release something early unless the distribution center allows us. Like, I don't think even the company has a say. Oh, the company has a say, but the distribution gives the final word.
Right. Now, here's the thing, too, is that people in North America have actually been getting their copies of Final Fantasy as well. They have... If they ordered the one with the cloud with the motorcycle,
the collector's edition.
The massive collector's edition, because Square was thinking that the shipping was going to be delayed, so they released everything early and to try to get everyone's stuff on time, and people started getting it like really early. So if you ordered through Square Enix and you got the collector's edition through them, you got the game early unintentionally. Now, this is a cause. Now, I do want to shout out and say, because I'm a little bit upset by this personally, because here's the thing. As someone who is a content creator and someone who worked to try to get this is a nightmare. Because imagine, like, you guys know I review Crash Bandicoot. I've reviewed Spyro. Everyone knows that I have a PR contact with Activision that gives me review codes. Yes, that's a fact. If CTR had leaked beforehand and people were just buying it before my review could go up, because I would be bound by the embargo. It wouldn't matter what other people are doing.
even the fact that like if everyone in the world bought CTR before your review went up, it still wouldn't have mattered if everyone in the world knew what the game was. You were still held by that like
embargo.
Contract essentially.
Exactly. And the thing is that now I'm thinking to myself, could you imagine some of these people? Now I've been trying to get a Square NXPR rep, and it's been like pulling teeth. I've tried through Sony. I went to PAX, met the guy myself, shook his hand, nice guy, emailed him. My emails get bounced back every single time. Try calling him, no pickup, text him, nothing. And I've tried going through the creator program, nothing. Contacted them before for Kingdom Hearts, nothing. It was just a bunch of nothing. So imagine these people that put all this effort into getting the game as a review copy, and now they're just all out in the Wild West. Like I saw Pro Jared already put up his review already,
and I was like, already? I don't even like. I don't know if he's under embargo or if he has a Square Enix rep or if he just got the game early and put the review out. And if he did, I don't know if Square would allow that. So I think. Like, are there even review scores on Metacritic yet?
I don't even know. I have no idea because I don't even think it would be open yet because usually, to be determined at the moment. The reason why they don't open that is because if there's a game with a bad like hype or a bad like follow up because of something stupid, like let's say something stupid happens where like a Pokemon Sword and Shield situation where there's a bad PR. People can preemptively downvote before the game even comes out. So this is...
Well, the thing is, so the Pro Jared thing, all those video reviews go out the same time the Metacritic scores are revealed because that's when all the reviews come out.
Opens.
So I don't think his was an embargo. I think he just got the game early. I didn't watch the video. He probably said it, and we're just talking about this for no reason. But I don't know. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to get spoiled. No one wants to get spoiled. But the Final Fantasy Twitter actually put out a tweet addressing the whole situation, and they said that the worldwide release of Final Fantasy Remake on April 10th will go ahead. However, with the unforeseeable changes in the distribution and the retail landscape, which varies across countries, it is increasingly likely that some of you will not get a hold of your copy on the game on release date. And then they go on to talk about how some people are already getting the game early, and it's out of their control. If you have any questions, contact them, go yada yada blah. So not even they can keep up with what's going on.
This is like saddening to me because, like I said, people want to, when it comes to content creators and stuff, people want to see the stuff fresh. Like, for example, when I went to stream Spyro, I hit 1,000 viewers on YouTube alone, which was insane. Right? That was a crazy thing. But if I didn't have it early, that wouldn't have helped, and that wouldn't have helped the channel, right? Because what happens is the more viewers you get, the more at the top you get, and then when someone types in Spyro live stream, if you have the most viewers, people are going to click immediately, right? So and then people will watch, and people will finally be exposed to you, and then they will be able to see your channel and be able to click subscribe. And because I remember that day, I think I gained 1,000 subscribers that day, 1,000.
Good Lord.
In one day because I streamed Spyro early. CTR, I think it was almost 2,000 in one day. There's a reason why YouTubers and live streamers push for these early copies because it allows their channel to grow. So if I was pushing for a Final Fantasy VII review copy and people are already dumping out their copies and I couldn't talk about it, the fact that it leaked would just be an absolute travesty to me and my channel, I think.
Yeah. So right now, if you're a Final Fantasy VII nut and you're really looking forward to it, just be cautious until next week. I don't know what all new stuff is going to be leaked, but stuff is going to be leaked, and it's already been leaked because, like we talked, the game's been data mined like left, right, and center already.
Yeah.
And right now on your PS4, if you digitally pre-order the game, you can preload the game right now, which will just give more people an incentive to data mine it if they have a modded PS4. So it's just like you said, it's the Wild West out there. There's no determining what's going to happen.
Yes.
Now, speaking on no idea what's going to happen, what's going on with PlayStation?
Oh boy. So man, I swear on Wumpa Time we talk positive about PlayStation, negative, Xbox
Negatives,
positive, negative, and now it's just all over the place. Now it's just a big question mark. Why don't you lead on this? Because there's a little... You found it first, and then I
Yeah.
found the rebuttal. Let's try to figure this out.
Okay, so someone on Twitter named Daniel Rubino, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. He's an executive editor at Windows Central. He posted on Twitter a screenshot of this person named Jeff Rickle, who allegedly has all this info on the PlayStation 5 and how it's going really bad, it's underperforming, Sony screwed up, blah 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 blah. To give you a quick rundown, I'll read a couple of things from the screenshot that Jeff Rickle did or said. He said someone named Cutter Elf talked to the devs working on the games. They know several people. They know people developing directly for Sony. They know all other third parties. The collective are feeling that Sony screwed up this generation, and they underestimated Microsoft and were too overconfident, which, I can see Sony being overconfident and not expecting Microsoft to do anything good because, they don't have the best track record. The biggest thing that they're always complaining about is the PS5 and the massive heating problem that will rival the Xbox 360, which if you've had a 360, that's pretty bad. That's a pretty bad thing. The big thing is that the M.2 slot gets too hot. They don't have a final design. They might have to scrap the whole design and rework it from scratch, and if they do that, it might have to go for a vertical look, so people might get mad and complain that they're copying Microsoft, when in reality they have no feasible way of doing it without going the vertical route.
Yeah.
Microsoft's being very open about all their stuff. Sony hasn't done anything. They're rushing to get everything out. It's a whole debacle. This is a really long thread, and it's believable at some points because we've talked about how Sony's kind of rushing, but then you dug into it a little more.
Yeah, so I dug a little bit more, and there was definitely some interesting points. So you had mentioned that the person that posted this was from where again? Where did they
Windows Central.
Windows Central. So,
which is the #1 news, review, and community site covering all things Microsoft, Windows, Xbox, and PC gaming.
Yeah,
that's the Twitter bio.
Right. So right away, someone pointed out that's a first red flag because it's an Xbox associated account, right? If it was a neutral account, there's that, but there's one. So that's the first red flag. Second red flag is Jason Schreier. I would say probably the top reporter at Kotaku, I would argue. I would argue he's very much respected in the industry. Now, I know Kotaku is not the most respected journalistic site at all, by far.
No.
A lot of people do not like Kotaku, but a lot of people, and I know a lot of people respect Jason, but Jason specifically, right? They don't refer to him as a part of Kotaku. They're like Jason from Kotaku, but they don't, there's Kotaku reporters and then there's Jason. He steps out. And he has information, and basically he called out this person and said they're full of crap.
He said specifically. So someone said, I'll see you just saying blah 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 blah. This isn't going to bite them, blah, blah, blah. And Jason said, what a coincidence that the person making these claims has a long history of tweeting about how PlayStation is doomed. And then he linked a bunch of tweets that they made, and then they made their account private.
So no one could read them.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Rickle, like we pointed out, the guy who made these claims, his Twitter account is locked.
Right. So to clarify, Jeffrey made the claims, and then the Windows guy posted a screenshot of those claims onto the internet, so we can see the screenshot. But when you go to the original guy's post, there's nothing. Right there, he's locked. His account.
It's all gone.
It's all gone. So there's that, and also from my own personal thing, I was hearing from developers left, right, and center that they were loving. I was seeing headlines almost every other day that they were loving the PlayStation 5 dev kit. And
they love the way it runs. They love it more than the Xbox. They love the architect. Like, it's weird that they said they like the architect of the PS5 more.
Yeah.
Where since because the Xbox has always been PC, like power PC hungry type of stuff.
Right.
Like if it runs on the Xbox and runs on the PC, essentially stuff like that.
Right.
And the PlayStation side of it was always a mess to work with, but apparently it's better than Microsoft's architect.
Yeah. So that's where I was like, okay, there's a whole bunch of things that are not making sense here. especially with to kind of tie on this leak, which actually we can actually pull this out because I forgot about this. According to a Canadian site, the PlayStation, now this is we're gonna pull. I'm gonna call baloney on this rumor because it was something that I was like, there is no way that it's even possible that, according to sources, the PlayStation is going to be $400 American at launch.
Yeah, no, I do not see that happening. One, because it was reported that the base function of the PS5, like just the board with the GPU and the CPU and stuff, nothing else was going to be $450 to manufacture alone.
Yeah,
and then everything else on top of that. There's no way that it's launching full at $400. If they're doing that, PlayStation's bank account's going to be in the negative for about a year or so.
Well, no, definitely. I mean, they both will be in the negative, but still, like the amount of, because here's the thing: is that people will just buy a PlayStation 5 and rip the hard drive out of it at that price because this thing's transfer rate is between 5 to 7 gigabytes per second.
I thought it was 100. I thought they were saying it's 100 gigabytes per second.
No. It was 5 to 7 gigabytes per second, which loads things lightning fast. Like that's quick. Yeah. That is it's very fast.
It's crazy how much speed that they're claiming to be put on there. And the thing is, they said that they had to solder the SSD on there, so this could be a proprietary SSD. I don't know if this is going to be something that you could just go out and buy and replace.
Okay, well, this
might be like a Sony branded SSD.
Possibly. They have the technology and they have the resources.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then that probably means it's not compatible with just any other run-of-the-mill PC or motherboard.
You get what I mean, though, is that like the hard drives at that speed and that size, they're around that price, and then you include the GPU, and it's running It's running Ryzen Navi 8 cores.
Yes. Oh my god, dude.
Like, it doesn't even. Are you serious? And you're telling me it's $400? There is no way that Sony is going to put that at $400. And if they do, good on them. Or what we're hearing is that we're hearing so many rumors that Xbox has got a second console coming out. They're just showing off the project Anaconda and not Lockhart, and that Lockhart is going to be. And then there was some rumors that PlayStation's releasing 2 consoles, and that maybe the the $400 version is the small console. That there's so many rumors going on right now, and I really wish that both companies would be able to settle it all down, because it's nuts, right? And we're less than a year. Think about that, dude. Comprehend this. By this time next year, you're going to have an Xbox Series X and or PlayStation 5 in your house. This time next year.
Yeah. And the thing is, we still don't know, we still don't know the fundamentals of the PlayStation 5. We know about the hard drive. God, Mark's starting to like to talk about that left, right, and center in that event, but we don't know what it looks like. We don't know what games are coming for. We don't know what the games look like. We don't know what the controller looks like. We don't know what the ports on the back look like. We don't know what color it is. It's insane. Yeah. And it's like, hold on, let me look at the calendar. So let me see. I had to always say it in my head. May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months before it allegedly launches. So, no, 7. Because
if we say November,
Microsoft,
I think it's November.
November, yeah, because Microsoft came out and said it's going to be November. They said Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Or okay, Thanksgiving, yeah. So that was right after the PlayStation 5 event. You think they just did that to mess with them? Like, oh, hey, it's kind of a letdown. So here's our release date. I think Xbox has it in the bag. They've had it in the bag for a while. People gave them too much crap too early, myself included, because it's Microsoft. Yeah. They have a knack for doing that. But it's looking pretty grim. It's looking like the Xbox Series X might have the upper hand so far. But
we'll have to see. Well, in terms of marketing, I agree. But the thing is that I'm saying that when PlayStation finally announces this PlayStation 5, they have to hit the ground running. And I'm not saying like a light jog like what Xbox is doing. I mean, they need to hit that ground, and if that tarmac is not on fire, they're not doing good enough. Like,
you want to know what the number one thing they can do right now to make sure they hit the ground running immediately?
What?
backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be the number one thing that will put them ahead of Microsoft right away, because Microsoft has always had backwards compatibility in the bag. It's kind of weird because the Series X can only play backwards compatible 360 and Xbox games that work on the Xbox One. Not all of them, which is understandable. But if the PS5 came out and it's like, we already know all PS4 games, cool, but what if they came out? What if they came out and said, hey guys, PS3, that's it. Like Sony won right then and there. Everyone could get rid of all their PS3s finally, have it all in one console, probably have them run better. One can only imagine. Our PCS3, the PS3 emulator on PC, has been making phenomenal they've been going through so much stuff, and it's going really, really good. Yet Sony can't finalize it quick enough, and this is by like a team of like what, 3 dudes? Yeah, I'm not doing the emulator.
I'm not sure on that end, but another thing that I think that they could do is PlayStation could sit down and be like, okay, 45-minute event. First 15 minutes, you show off the controller, you show off the first 15 minutes, you show off the controller, you show off the look of the console, and for half an hour you give us games and graphics comparisons.
Yes,
that's it.
Show us cross-gen, like PS4 versus PS5. Show us like, oh, here's a PS5 update for Uncharted 4, and then make it look like hyper-realistic, 60 frames per second. All this stuff. Just show us anything. The features. What can it do for PS4 games besides make them load faster? Can they look better? Can they give us extra options? Like how the PS4 Pro gives God of War an option to uncap the frame rate. Can I do that?
Yeah, I would love to be able to see it, because if they were able to, let's say, be on par with the Xbox Series X with graphics, and they show like 3 or 4 games that looks like Senua's Sacrifice or Hellblade 2, that trailer still gives me chills. I watch it.
It's still, I can't believe that's a game.
Yeah. I'm looking at the graphics and I watch it. I can see a little bit in the water. The water kind of enters the uncanny valley a little bit. I'm like, all right, the water is good. Like, it's good, but then you see the facial expressions of Senua. And I'm looking, and it's like we've passed the uncanny valley. This looks real. Like,
it's always the face and the lighting that always sells it.
Right.
The things that always kill it for me are like less important props, like vehicles, when you see the polygonal tires and like the polygonal fingers and gun barrels. That's what kind of kills it for me. But the face, just the face, the wrinkles and the eye bags and everything moved realistically. It was so bizarre to see that was a game. And did I tell you what freaks me out going into next generation? It's the fact that it's going to get so realistic. Imagine when people run into like graphical glitches with it being that realistic. I'm pretty sure some people might have nightmares. Like, imagine playing the new Senwan game and it's like a cutscene where it's right on her face, and then like her face glitches and it morphs and goes inside out and stuff like that. That's scary. That's scary for how realistic that is.
Yeah. To see something that photorealistic go that wrong, it definitely could be something that could cause issues. But speaking of going wrong...
Oh yeah, sad news, everyone.
Sad segue.
Yeah, so Naughty Dog, you know them, you love them. They made a lot of good games. Last of Us 2, I'm sure you've heard of it. We're just going to cut to the chase. It has been delayed indefinitely. Now, Last of Us 2 is not shy to being, delayed. It's been delayed like what, 4 times?
I've lost count.
Yeah, I've lost count at this one. I mean, Uncharted 4 did the same thing. It was delayed like 4 times and it finally came out. But the thing that confused me is that they said it was beyond their control. Naughty Dog put out a message like every other company is doing, and they said, as you've likely seen, The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of the community and give you a little information. The good news is we're nearly done. Yeah, they're nearly done. They're just fixing a couple of bugs. So the game's basically finished.
Yeah.
However, even with us finishing the game, we are faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to reserve the best experience for everyone. We are bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood that it's the best way to go for our players until such a time where we can solve these logistic issues. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay. So my question to you, what do you think happened? What is beyond their control that they don't even have a date for it?
Easy. It's simply coming down to the fact of them having to do the remoting in. Like we talked about this last week, how we were saying, hey, listen, this stuff takes a lot. It takes a lot of rendering. It takes a lot of stuff. And honestly, I think that these bugs that they're squashing and all this stuff that's happening, it's two things. I think it's two things. One, it's that squashing out the bugs, getting them all done. And the second thing is distribution and printing the discs. Because the problem is that, we are going digital, but we're not there yet. We are not set up for exclusively digital, and people don't want exclusively digital. And there will be people that will wait. They will wait for the physical, and then you lose your window of release. You lose your window of time. And not just that, on top of that too, you need to have a supply and demand. So let's say you get it out, and then quarantine opens, and you don't have enough copies, right?
There's a higher demand for it. That means, like what happened with the Nintendo Switches is that nowhere, I don't know if you heard, but nowhere in the United States has a Nintendo Switch right now. So people are selling them online on eBay for like $600 a piece. Like if they were to release The Last of Us and that happened, that means the game would be selling for like maybe $90 to $100 for the base game. Either that, or they make too many copies in preparation for this, and not all people go out and buy them, so the sales numbers look pretty bad, which investors don't like to see.
So there's a give and take here, and so basically what's probably going to happen is once everything's been given the green light, everything's been given the thumbs up, everything's been cleared, a month and a half later, Last of Us 2 will get dropped. So
we could be looking anywhere at like May.
I'm gonna push it further.
Like a little after May.
I'm gonna push it further. I'm gonna say June or July.
Okay, yeah,
even July.
Release.
Even July, because the thing is too is that like when they're opening up for quarantine for a specific disease that if we apparently say we get demonetized. Yeah, exactly. Basically, if they open up quarantine too early, when they're going to open up quarantine, they're not going to be like, okay, everything's back to normal. Everyone go back. Ding, 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 ding. No, it's going to be like, okay, suggested of 5 people in the group, will go to 10 to 20 to 40 to 50, right? And then, stores will start to open, and then things will start getting back to normal. Conventions will probably just be banned. We're probably going to get conventions banned. The earliest I can think of conventions opening up is August, September, maybe, and that's if everything we hit the peak in like 2 weeks. That's if we hit
honestly.
Peak. If North America, if the world hits the peak in 2 weeks, we will be back to normal by fully 100% by July. August.
Yeah. It really just depends on how much of this goes on.
Yeah.
Because 2020 is going to be remembered for this demonetized virus.
Demonetized
they're going
virus.
They're going to be known for this specifically. And it's weird, not to segue, but it's weird that we're living in it and we're like... It's weird that we have everything, the internet and everything, to keep us going in the midst of this crisis, and we're living in it. I don't know. That kind of hit me earlier today.
Well, it's like I would argue that the last crisis that came anywhere similar to this, in terms of scope and size, was like 9/11. But we But we were too young for that. We were really young. I was in junior kindergarten. I remember.
Same.
Yeah, I remember being sent home early. That's what I remember. And I remember coming home and my mom hugging me, but I didn't understand or grasp the weight of the situation.
Yeah, you didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know, right?
The thing is, we this is like the other recent viruses and sicknesses that happened, like Ebola and what was the other one? Swine flu.
Which one? Take your pick. You got SARS, avian flu, mad cow disease, H1N1,
H1N1, yeah. So the big ones were that I remember were Ebola, swine flu, H1N1.
I remember avian flu.
Yeah, and all of those things were kind of similar, but they were not as damaging as this one is being.
Yeah.
I remember swine flu because my mom got it, and I remember we were up northern Texas, and her top lip got like so big and she could barely move around. It was awful. None of us got it, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it's weird to see how this one is overtaking all of those other ones where it's kind of similar in terms of scope. Well, not scope, but what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Panic, spread.
Panic, spread. I guess I would say, yeah, spread.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. And I think everybody was like this. Everybody was like this with the censored virus. Almost said, but I didn't. Is that, and I do think that we had these. We've had panic news for years about these diseases, right? Ebola. Yeah. Oh, everyone's gonna die. No one. I think there was like a total of like 10 cases in North America, right?
Yeah.
The mad cow disease, avian flu, SARS, even SARS got bad. I remember SARS started to get bad, but then it leveled out. So people have been so used to hearing about the next flu, the next bad disease that's going to kill everybody. And then there's COVID, and then there's censored.
Censored, yes. There's C. Let's just call it C.
Yeah, C. So C shows up, and with a Spanish yes. No, I'm kidding. So C shows up, and people expected the exact same thing. Oh, it's the next Ebola.
Yeah,
it's the next swine flu.
Yeah, we all saw that people were like, oh, it's no big deal. It's like I'm not gonna lie.
At the count me in there. I was in there. I was in that. I was there.
We were both like, oh, it's okay because we were used to it. Like the news always hypes up these sicknesses and viruses to be the end of the world, and we kind of grow used to that,
right?
And we don't notice it until it actually happens, and it actually happened, and we are taking it seriously, like everyone else should. Stay home, please. But I don't know. It's just weird. I'm kind of speechless, honestly.
Well, here's the thing, and this is something that and I made a tweet about this, was that 30 years from now, you're going to be watching a trivia show, and they're going to say, in 2020, what happened that caused people, what was during the C outbreak, what was one of the items that was hoarded the most? And the answer will be toilet paper, and everyone will be like, oh, they hoarded toilet paper, ha ha ha. And then there's
how
us.
Funny.
Yeah, how funny, ha.
How funny, ha ha.
But nowadays it's not funny. It's like that's not funny. No. We're having a hard time right now. So think about that. Think about how we're living through an event like this, and it's going to
be safe, everyone listening.
Please.
Just be safe. Wash your hands. Stay indoors if you can. If you have to go out, take precautions. Don't touch your face. Don't touch anyone. 6 feet apart. You know the drill.
Yep.
And it's okay. We'll just get through this.
Yep.
Like we can do it. It's 2020. We have the modern medicine to efficiently tackle this. It's going to take some time to tackle this, but it's going to be tackled. And speaking of tackling, let's tackle our next topic. Oh, segue.
Whoa, segue.
So one of the big things that we talk about a lot is exclusives, like to PlayStation and the Xbox and Xbox's lack thereof. But recently, we talked about this. We talked about this last week, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remaster, and we were like, "Oh, it'll get released like a month or so later." It released like 2 days ago. It just came out, but only for PlayStation users, and that made a lot of people upset. Now, Modern Warfare 2 is favored in the COD community. A lot of people really liked Modern Warfare 2.
It's considered one of the best.
Yeah, and Activision is no stranger to exclusives with PlayStation, because that's where most of their COD games and most of their games in general sell. Funnily enough, because the 360, if you knew someone with the 360, they always had COD.
Of course,
it wasn't really with PS3; it was mainly with 360. But whatever sells currently. So. Activision is no stranger to doing this. They did this with CTR, with the PlayStation exclusive track and skins. They're no stranger to working with Sony. They work with Sony closely for all the Spider-Man games that were tied to the movies. All the movies say like movie merchandise, so they work with Sony constantly. There's no stranger, but people are upset because Call of Duty is not an exclusive franchise.
Yeah.
The most that people get is exclusive DLC or game modes, which is kind of pushing it, but it happened and people got over it. This is a whole game for a month, mind you. And it's antagonizing people because on the Xbox store and and on PC, you can see the game. You can buy it and download it, but you can't play it.
Yeah.
And that sucks for a lot of people.
Yeah. There's a lot to break down here. So the question becomes, is exclusivity healthy? And I'm going to say yes with an asterisk.
Yes, there are certain areas that it is healthy. Now, keep in mind, healthy and necessary are two different things.
Correct.
Healthy. Well, I'll let you go over healthy.
Okay. So necessary is like, you got your console exclusives, your first party developments. You got your Spider-Man games. You got your Halo. You got these are games, and then you got IPs that are developed through second party. I was about to say Ratchet and Clank, but I guess that's now a first party. Insomniac is now purchased by Sony. But the point is that there are necessary exclusivity things, controllers, the design of the controller, there is a necessary for that, for people to want to buy those consoles. That's a necessary. Then there's healthy, which is parts like, for example, what CTR did, where they're like, okay, there's an exclusive track, but it's a reskin. It just looks like PlayStation, right?
And it's cool. The skins are just neat little, I get it. It's a PlayStation throwback. Right. It should belong on PlayStation.
Right. It's, if it's for the multi-console people that are like, I really don't know what to pick, that type of exclusivity is healthy. What isn't and then I will actually push to say something else that's really healthy too, is like, for example, Crash Bandicoot being 1 year on exclusive to PlayStation was healthy for the franchise. I believe it was. Yeah,
of course. Obviously, people were mad because I want Crash on the Xbox One. Blah 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 blah. That's understandable. But Crash originated on PlayStation, so it made sense. So people who owned a PS4 would be like, "Oh, look, it's Crash. Might as well get it. I remember playing it back in the day." Yada yada blah. And then after that, widespread Crash fame because it's on everything now.
Yeah.
11 million copies later.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that's where it's also healthy. Where it becomes not so healthy is when the gameplay experience either completely changes, or the timed exclusivity is not seen nicely, and it's not that long, especially when it's not that long. So
it's kind of like, I don't know, unnecessary, like rubbing salt in the wound. Like, hey, this game came out, but you can't play it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with how Modern Warfare 2 Remastered was handled. So it was shadow dropped. It was just like, oh, hey, here it is. Bang. There it is. It was just like, whoa, they pulled a Nintendo on us. We're like, it's available now, exclusive to PlayStation for 1 month. If they should have released a trailer for this and let people know ahead of time, available on PlayStation 4 first, and then either make it longer than a month or shorter, because 1 month, and the problem is that it's a campaign. The campaign does not take long to rip through. It's not multiplayer.
No. And the multiplayer, I don't even remember, is there going to be multiplayer, or are they just putting it in Warzone?
There's rumors talking about it right now. Whether or not they're true, I don't know. But I have heard rumors that it's done and they're just trying to figure out how to package it and send it off. Apparently, that's what I've heard quotations.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, did Activision not have faith in it, or were they just kind of like, just release it?
Well, what they're probably going to do is, it depends on what they're doing. It depends on what they're doing with the multiplayer, because that's what sells Call of Duty games, not campaign. Campaign, people love campaign, but that's not what sells the games on a mass level. It's the multiplayer. My thinking is that they released the Modern Warfare 2 campaign to see how people would like it. What are the sales going to be, to bank a quick buck and then use that money to probably finish the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2 and then release that for like $45. So you got your, and then you would get your Spec Ops, you would get your, and then they might throw a new game mode in there. Like they might do a Modern Warfare 2 Battle Royale in there too, for whatever sake, and just throw it out all at once. And
yeah,
that's it. And then you're done, right? That's a possibility. But like I said, where exclusivity doesn't become healthy, I'll give you a perfect example. It was one of the Batman games was
Arkham Knight VR or Arkham VR.
No. There was I think it was the first Arkham Asylum where you got to play. You had an entire game mode dedicated as the Joker.
Oh yeah, it was just. Well, yeah, I think that was one. No. There was more of it.
Yeah,
it was Arkham Asylum, and PS3 users still to this day are the only people to access the Joker maps.
Right.
That wasn't a timed exclusive. That was an exclusive.
Yeah, an exclusive. Period. And that's something, looking back on, I wasn't, personally for me, I'm not a fan of that, because you're literally withholding a portion of the game from other people, and they're all paying the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So it's like, that I don't like that. That's where exclusivity kind of becomes a little bit soured for me when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, and you don't see that a lot. I think Activision really is the only place that is the only company that to do it to that extent.
Yeah.
I can't think of many other timed exclusives that are noteworthy. It's I know other games have done it, but they've been kind of small. Like Final Fantasy's doing it the same way Crash Bandicoot did it, because it was only on PS1.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's probably only going to sell the best on PS4.
Yeah.
I don't imagine Final Fantasy selling good at all on the Xbox One, or maybe PC better than Xbox One.
Yeah.
I think Xbox One's going to be the worst selling one for Final Fantasy 7 specifically. I think it was for Crash. But it's weird. It makes sense when it needs to, but every other time it doesn't need to be. Like this Call of Duty situation does not need to be the way it is. It does not need to be an exclusive. If it was multiplayer, maybe, but it's still dumb. I understand what people are complaining about.
Yeah. The fact that PlayStation got COD for a month too is just like,
yeah. I mean, who paid for that? Activision, or I think Sony paid for that.
Yeah,
I don't think
Sony
Activision.
paid for that, 100%.
Yeah, so Sony gave them the big bucks, and I don't know if it was worth it with all the backlash.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. Sure, it's healthy for PlayStation. But the thing is that, like, is it going to cause people? For me, I would go for stuff that would cause people to buy a console, like having Crash exclusive for 1 year. That was worth it.
Yeah,
because people would buy a PlayStation so that they could play Crash Bandicoot right away instead of waiting that year, right?
Yeah, and like if it imagine in the other universe where Crash releases and it's exclusive to Xbox for a month, just because Microsoft paid Activision just a little more than Sony, I'm pretty sure that would have caused an outcry, because that's not healthy. That's not where Crash belonged. It's weird. It's still weird seeing him on Xbox, but I understand Activision's multi-platform. But yeah, like we said, the whole Call of Duty situation's stupid. I don't think it needed to be exclusive. I don't think there was needed for any exclusivity. I think people were just going to buy it regardless.
Yeah,
it's Call of Duty. Of course it was going to sell. Like, dude, if Infinite Warfare sold, I think Modern Warfare 2 Remastered can sell.
Oh yeah, totally, 100%.
But yeah, I think that is all the time we have for today. Like we said, there wasn't a lot of news today, but we actually ended up getting an hour's worth of chatter. Hopefully everyone appreciates that. We are on everything with audio: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube. Just look up Wumpa Time. If you're on YouTube, look up Canadian Guy A. That's where it's going to premiere every Saturday. That's you, yes. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at ShimpOfficial for me, and Canadian Guy A with 2 H's. We're still looking for that
Imposter.
Still looking for the faker. We'll find him. Faker. If you want us on YouTube, one, you're already here. Canadian Guy on YouTube and Shemp on YouTube. Yeah, I mean,
send us carrier pigeons.
You got anything else? Send us carrier pigeons.
We're in
please,
isolation, so we can't really check the mail either. So carrier pigeons will be the only way for you to be able to.
Oh yes,
connect with us.
If you own a pet bird, please just put a little Wumpa Time logo on their little feet.
They'll know where to go.
Say it's a carrier pigeon. Yeah, they'll know where to go. Yeah, just throw them out. Throw out your pet bird.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be fine.
That's fine. All right, and I think that's everything.
That is.
Bye.
Bye.